Hello, friend. Welcome back. If you're struggling with understanding why someone would willingly give away their hard earned cash to a stranger, this episode is for you. We're diving into financial domination, what it really means, and the psychology behind why most men are drawn to it. And if you're craving stronger insights into this unusual power dynamic, I've got 7 psychological drivers that explains this behavior better than anything else. There are more, but these 7 completely change how you think about money, power, and desire. Let's dive in. So, what exactly is financial domination? In simpler terms, it's a relationship dynamic where one person, usually called the submissive, gets psychological or emotional satisfaction from giving money or gifts to another person. The dominant person usually exerts control, makes demands, and sometimes even verbally humiliates the submissive. And here's the kicker: the submissive actually enjoys this dynamic. Now, I know what you're thinking. Anna, who in their right mind would enjoy having someone take their money while being mean to them? Well, friend, that's exactly what we're unpacking today. Let me tell you about Mark, not his real name, of course. Mark is a 42-year-old executive at a tech company. He manages a team of 30 people, makes 6 figures, and has complete control over million-dollar budgets. On paper, Mark has power, status, and control. But 3 times a week, Mark logs on to a private chat service and voluntarily sends hundreds of dollars to someone who calls him pathetic, demands more money, and gives him absolutely nothing tangible in return. And the wildest part, Mark describes this as the most liberating experience of his week. It's like all the pressures of being in charge just melts away, he told me. For those moments, I don't have to make any decisions. I just follow orders, and there's something incredibly freeing about that, he said. Now, brain scientists and those folks who study the mind, the ones who might recline you on a fancy couch and ask about your childhood, would find this fascinating. And they do have some theories about why this happens, especially with men. But before we dive in deeper in those theories, let me take a quick moment to say thank you for hanging out on the couch and helping us grow. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell for notification of future episodes. Every subscriber means I can keep bringing these psychological curiosities to your earbuds. Now back to our financial domination discussion. What makes this particularly interesting is that the majority of financial submissives are men, often successful, powerful men in their day-to-day lives. Let me share another story. Jordan, again, not his real name. Jordan is a lawyer who works 70-hour weeks. He's always on, always making high-stakes decisions, always being the responsible one. He discovered Findom after his divorce and describes it as the only time I get to turn off my brain. In court, I have to be perfect. One mistake could cost my client everything, he explained. But when I'm interacting with my financial dominant, I'm allowed to be imperfect. I'm allowed to be weak. I'm expected to fail and can be humiliated. And somehow that's incredibly relaxing. Wow. This brings us to the psychological aspects. Those mind explorers would suggest several reasons why this dynamic appeals particularly to men. Number 1, power exchange. Many men who engage in Findom hold significant power and responsibility in their daily lives. The psychological weight of constant decision-making can be exhausting. Temporarily surrendering control can provide relief from this burden. Number 2, escaping gender expectations. Men are often socialized to be providers, protectors, and to be in control. Findom provides a sanctioned space to temporarily escape these expectations. Number 3, the taboo factor. There's something psychologically powerful about engaging in behavior that goes against social norms. The taboo nature adds excitement. Number 4, eroticizing financial stress. Some of our brain whisperers suggest that this behavior can be a way of transforming financial anxiety into pleasure. Number 5, clear boundaries. Unlike many real-world power dynamics, Findom relationships typically have clear rules and boundaries, providing a safe structure for exploration. Number 6, attention and connection. In an increasingly isolated world, Findom provides attention and connection, albeit in an unconventional format. And number 7, the thrill of the risk. From an evolutionary perspective, risk-taking behaviors have complex reward systems in our brains. Financial risk-taking triggers similar neurochemical responses to other forms of excitement. Now, I'm not saying that financial domination is necessarily healthy or unhealthy. That's far too simplistic. Like many psychological phenomena, it exists on a spectrum. For some, it's a harmless fantasy that provides stress relief. For others, it can become problematic, especially if it leads to financial hardship or interferes with daily functioning. And this brings me to an important point. Just because something has psychological explanations doesn't mean it's automatically good for us. Those mind detectives would be quick to point out that understanding why we do something isn't the same as endorsing it. Just a friendly reminder, this is not professional advice. But understanding these dynamics can help us be more compassionate towards ourselves and others. It reminds us that human psychology is complex, and behaviors that might seem strange at first glance often have understandable roots when we look deeper. I think it's time to start practicing a new instrument when it comes to how we think about unusual behaviors. Instead of jumping to judgment, perhaps we can approach with curiosity. What psychological need might this behavior be fulfilling, and what would healthier alternatives look like? For those who find themselves drawn to financial domination, here are some questions worth considering. Number 1, is this behavior enhancing my life or causing problems? Number 2, am I engaging with safe financial boundaries? Number 3, are there healthier ways I could experience simple psychological benefits? And number 4, am I using this dynamic to avoid addressing underlying issues? And for the rest of us who might not understand this particular dynamic, perhaps this is an opportunity to reflect on our own psychological needs and how we fulfill them. After all, we all have our own unique ways of seeking relief from life's pressures. Some are just more socially acceptable than others. All right, that's it for today's episode of Couch Tales, Why We Do What We Do. I'm your host, Analia. If you like this episode, take a moment to follow us, click that subscribe button, and share it with a friend. Until next time, friend, stay curious, stay kind, and maybe think twice before opening your wallet to strangers.